how are we doing? We finally have some blue skies. It seems like the storm has left, old Storm Dennis, and we finally got a bit of blue skies, a bit of sunlight, not too much rain. Well, none at the minute. We might get some more this afternoon, but so far it's not too bad. But it's lovely and fresh. It's only like 4 degrees out at the minute. So a nice beautiful cold day. Got the messages referencing the videos. I like the idea of the Lotus video. I'll definitely do that. God, you silly ass. We will definitely do a Lotus video. Ownership, pros and cons, bits and bobs. I think that'd be a good one actually. But it is 7 o'clock. I'm just on my way to work. The moon is out. The skies are blue. I do love this time of the morning. It's all fresh and
we will often offer grants to individual homes so that they can improve the resilience of their own property.
This morning there are more than 670 flood warnings and alerts in place, including 5 danger to life alerts in the Midlands. Paul Funkerson lives near Rotonda in West Yorkshire, and the army were brought in to build defences at the weekend. He says that should have come sooner.
I'm working down yesterday. It's got to be today, got to be a matter of hours. This could have been done and should have been done last week.
This T5's turning into a right delight. Electric windows don't work on it, no reverse lights, and obviously we're putting on a camera, but I just wanted to show you this, which is quite interesting. So when you're checking fuse lights, so the reverse fuse for a T5 is basically a 10 amp fuse. You see the empty terminals just there at the front, that center section. It's a mini blade fuse, but this is quite funny. So if you look at that fuse, it actually looks like it's okay. It looks like the bar is joined. But if you suddenly turn it just a bit to the side, at a 45-degree angle, you can actually see that the bar is broken. But as you look at it, it looks complete. Or as you turn it slightly sideways, you realise it's not. So got some janky wiring in this one as well. I can see myself sorting out some more bits and bobs on it. Let's get to the old stock. A 10 amp that isn't blown. Let's pop that in, which goes in that one there. It would also appear that whoever had this vehicle before has done his own electrics, and that there is a hookup for a leisure battery. 10 guesses what's missing. Where's the fuse? That cable looks like it's live all the way through, so I might have to bring her attention to that as well, because if that's not sorted out, if anything overloads or shorts out, that's got potential to be something quite nasty. Especially being in a bus with loads of sound deadening. It's not the kind of thing you want. So, key in, ignition on. Let's go for reverse. Oh look, that one's full of water and very dim. And that one's not working at all. But one thing I have noticed is that this wiring harness also has a lovely rusty chocolate lock holding things together. That's not how you do waterproof connections, and that's why you shouldn't use these in car electronics, people. It's fucking shite. So let's just put you to one side. clean up that wire. Because I bet that connection is broke. Maybe the bulb's gone too. Oh, this thing's full of water. Right, let's just take this apart. Oh, that reverse light over there is gone. So I'm wondering if the fuse is just blown again because of water ingress. That'll be the next thing. Yes, you can have a reverse light. No, it ain't gonna work because it's going to keep popping fuses because your light units are full of H2O. Let's have a look. The bulbs look okay. The connection looks okay. Never a dull moment, eh? Let's plug that back in there. There we go. Right. Start up the old soldering iron. Get our little broken wire. So I've run in my camera cable, as you can see here on the door. That goes up, down behind the lock, and then to where the camera is now on the door. What we'll do, just going to grab some heat shrink. Right, so I've just replaced that fuse in the front engine compartment. Look at that. It's just absolutely boiled, that fuse. Look, that's proper melted. She has a serious wire short on this vehicle. Look, that's a bad one. Jesus Christ. I haven't put another fuse in it yet. This is going to be a fun one. I can see it already. Can see it already. It's a problem when people do their own camper conversions. You never really know the skill of the person who's doing the job and how proper and detailed they've been. But it's always a given when you start seeing chocolate locks in an install that the person just didn't cut corners. It was just the cheapest fix, and that's not good for car electronics. So we'll just solder up this connection. Right. One bit of heat shrink on top. Seal that up. There's one. It's just in a really awkward place. You don't necessarily need to do two rounds of heat shrink, but with this one I'm just going to, because I don't like how this looks. It just looks a bit funky, so we're gonna double bag it. light is full of water. See the water at the bottom of it? We have ourselves a swimming pool. That's good. That ain't gonna help. T4's done, T5's done. Just waiting on the customer picking it up. But I can see that being a lawsuit job, I think. So it turns out they've just bought the vehicle. It's been smashed in the back. The engine mounts are hanging out of it. The steering rack is gone. The floor's rusty as hell. Underneath the driver's seat's creased. I don't think the chassis of the vehicle's straight. But we got the camera in, everything's working, the head unit's done. Still blowing fuses. You know, there's an electrical short in the car somewhere. My job today, unfortunately, is just fitting the camera and the head unit, so it's going to go back to a garage somewhere else to have the steering rack checked out. I'm going to mention the engine mounts, and they're going to have to look at electrical issues with the car. But hey, look what's turned back up. We got the Q7 in. So Steve's dropped him off today. We had a little issue with this little adapter cable that you get given with the Forza. The connection into the amp here is a bit crap. So instead of using that connection, what I'm going to do is join these to these with these. Great bits of kit, but don't ever use them behind the dash. The heat you've got to generate to get this melting and sealing at the same time is quite fierce, and if you do that inside the dash, you're gonna heat stuff up. Tells you about a heat gun, but yeah, I think a blowtorch is more likely. So let's get on with that.
$298 frozen patties later.
How we doing, peoples? Let me just sort this radio out. Right, how are we? All good? Look at them puppies. Hey, you gotta love some Brembo action. Yeah, I know. So I've had a little tidy up. We've got our first lot of neodymium magnets are in, so I'm going to start putting them into position, getting everything mounted so I can click it in and remove it nice and simply. That's kind of where we are at the minute. All good. And Lotus. So I give him a wash. I put a protective bag on him just to kind of cover him up so he's kind of staying clean while he's parked just for a bit. And we are taking the V8 out. It's not going to happen today, not going to happen tomorrow. It's my little Jess's birthday, so I'm off the second half of this week. But I've got some little bits and bobs to sort out. That's a HKS belt, by the way, if you're wondering why it's blue. A little water leak there, let's see the witness marks. So all of these hoses are being changed. We're pulling the engine, going to go through gearbox seals, going to go through the gearbox change. I've got new ones of these. All of this is going to get replaced, all these rose jointed parts, these are going to get replaced. I've got some kind of weep around here somewhere. I've already done the back plate and these seals, and this change has already been replaced. But I've got a little weep from somewhere, you can see the oil there. So that's going to get redone. But it's about 2 hours 20 minutes now it takes me to get this out. But yeah, chassis bar comes out, you jack up from the center here on this hoop and it splits the chassis. Undo that, that piece comes out, and then it's kind of like undo the wiring loom from inside the ECU, that pulls round that little grommet there, drain the water, drain the oil. This time what I'm going to do, it has split pins that sit inside these drive shafts, inner cups here, these CV joints. So we're going to leave the CV joints mounted to the gearbox this time, because I'm not going to, you can probably see the little sealant dobble there. I'm not going to take them out this time because they're a pain in the bum to get lined in. So I'm going to actually separate the CV joint there, and we're going to lift the gearbox out with a shaft in kind of 2 parts. And then all this old, look at the state of this, look, this crappy rubber, that's all getting replaced. And we'll take it out. We're going to do some maintenance, going to check up this wiring harness, going to see where my electrical fault is, check out the idle control valve because that's kind of sometimes a bit sporadic. I've got an oil pressure sensor down at the bottom here that I can't get to, that I need sorting out. I've got a water temp sensor which is inside the plenum underneath the plenum thing here, comes backwards. There's a sensor in there I've got to check out, and then obviously this wiring harness I've got to inspect. But other than that, the majority of it can stay together. So it will be gearbox, clutch, engine out as one. Obviously exhausts off, turbos are staying. And then separate the gearbox. The clutch is going back to helix. They're going to have a look at that because it's too stiff, even though it's a racing clutch. The sprung side of things is a bit ridiculous. And you've got some little witness marks here of water as well, of coolant, so that's going to get sorted out. And then we'll delve inside the plenum, do some inspections in there because all that can come out. Check the belts, check the timing on the belts, the tension, sorry, not the timing. Check the tension on the belts again, auxiliary, check that. And I'm going to get the aircon in and working this time round. So we'll redo all this pipe work and stuff. But other than that, he's had a little clean. He's looking all nice and shiny, but we'll keep him protected while I'm working on it. It's probably not going to be this weekend because I'm away in London. It will be the weekend after, but I think I'll have, I might do an evening on YouTube so you can have it like live and see what's going on, but we might get some people down there and, you know, have some beers. We'll do a kind of car evening with my buddies and play about, you know, car stuff. Chaser, yeah, it's coming on. Again, I do want it done. I want it done soon, but it's just, you know, lots of things are going in with gauges and stereo stuff, the kicker stuff, the Hertz stuff. It's very, very busy. Very, very busy. So I'm trying to do it bit by bit and keep you all informed as much as I can. But what I'll do, as requested, we wanted a Lotus video. So when we're ripping this out, we'll get live. You can kind of see what's going on. What I might do as well is put like a, we could do one of two things really. We could do a YouTube kind of live, or we could do a Facebook kind of live. I don't really know yet, but either way, we can get something on the TV with the computer, because this is all on, this is live, this is on the internet. But we'll do something online where you can actually kind of talk in, you know, you can message us, you can ask questions, you can get some of my mates to do stupid stuff. They'll probably do shots and things like that for, you know, dumb requests. But yeah, we'll have a bit of a giggle. Just had some stock come in from Hertz, some more speakers because we're running out. Some tools have come in, so obviously you saw, or you will see the video with this in them. Got some new crimp terminals, a new hydraulic crimper with lots of well, they call them dies for different size kind of crimping bits. These are the non-insulated kind of like a battery terminal or amp terminal. But this thing's great. So it's tiny, so you can get it in a small place, but it's hydraulic. So you'll pump in a little bit, but obviously the force here is absolutely massive. So it crushes down really, really well on your terminals, and you get like a nice sort of crimp. I did purchase, where is it? I did get one from Snap-on that I used a few times. There. So this thing is available from Snap-on. It's a BT-CR1, and the idea, I think, because of how it's designed, is you put a spanner on the side there when you're crimping it and obviously tighten this up. But I've been using it kind of in the vise like that because it was easier to get control on the cable. But what tended to happen is the way that this is kind of set up, because both sides of this, or shall I say one side of it is V'd and the other side of it is pointed. You get the dimple in the crimp, but it also spreads the back end of the crimp out, so you don't really get like a nice tidy all-in-one kind of, you know, like a sausage crimp, you know, like a sausage roll would look like. It kind of spreads out and pinches in the middle, which is not what we want. But these dies they'll be more uniform than a point, if you know what I mean. So they're really cool. That was just probably 40 quid off Amazon, I think it was, something like that. But a really good bit of kit. Makes life easier, you know, doing stuff like that. Definitely doing stuff like that. But that's about it. It's getting later on in the day. It's 5:30, so I'm just kind of packing stuff up, tidying things up. Remove the boot lid spoiler off the Lotus and getting it ready to pull the engine out and put the bag over it so it stays nice and clean. And we will go from there, but we'll get another video in. Jesus, let me turn that light down. There we go. We'll get another video in and do some Lotus stuff as requested. So that's coming up, so keep them peeled for that one, because it will be quite exciting and you get to see, you know, some dicking around, which will be all good. So that's it for today. I will see you soon, peeps. It was Snap-on. I didn't purchase anything, just paid my bill. There's some news coming up with the Snap-on stuff, which I shall fill you in all good time. It's not a cryptic clue, and it's certainly not clickbait. I'm just kind of waiting on a reply from the powers that be to see where we go with it. But I do have some news, but either way, I need to wait to find out what comes back, but we will talk. All right, so I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, enjoy, do all that fun stuff. I'll see you soon. Bye.